3. You are tuned in to Just Got Real TV. I'm your host, Pearl J, and we got Chicali, Nate Williams in the house, and SherryE. What's cracking?
What's happening? What's happening?
All right. And today we're going to be talking about your career and how long you've been in the game and all the little hidden secrets that you have not shared. So let's jump right on into the interview. We're going to give yourself an introduction on how long you've been in the game.
Okay. My name is SherryE. I'm from San Diego, first of all. And I've been out in the San Diego scene for about 12 years, actually. I'm from Southeast San Diego. Right. And but what I've been doing, first I want to say thank you for having me. And thank you guys. This means a lot. I've got marbles in my mouth because this is huge for me, But as I said, I'm from San Diego. I've been doing music since I was like 4 years old. I was a singer. I started doing hooks in the studios when the kids got out the nest and went on off with their life. And I was doing the hooks, and one of the guys told me, I said, hey, every time I do a hook, you guys tell me that you rap about something else. I don't understand that. I said, maybe I should rap. He said, stay in your lane. So I said, okay, I'll take talent. I don't take well the challenges.
Right.
So I made my first song, Cut It, Roll It, Smoke It, and then I created a brand off of it. So I have a clothing line that goes with that particular song, and that song's been out the longest.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So you said you did a single. What was the name of your single?
My Cut It, Roll It, Smoke It is the first one. Okay. And the second one is 420 Energy.
All right. Yeah. And what gave you the incentive to write, your first single?
My first single, because I was challenged. I was told to stay in my lane. You go to the studios to do hook. You don't rap. So because I was challenged, I said, I'm gonna do it.
Right.
But the producer was telling them, he says, listen, it's from Russia. I can hear it. I can hear it in her ears. She can rap. I'm telling you, she probably out-rap you. And I did.
Right.
But what I did was I've always been a huge lover of marijuana. So that's why I chose Cut It, Roll It, Smoke It.
Okay.
So, excuse me, I heard something. You went to a concert, Warren G. Could you tell us something about that? What happened?
Yeah, I was in the audience and Warren G. I think he said the first thing he did. I was in the first row, so the first thing he did was said something about weed, and I just kept yelling, "Cut it, roll it, smoke it, cut it, roll it, smoke it." And every now and then finally one time he kind of like paused in his show and he was like, "Get ready to go smoke." And I said, "Cut it, roll it, smoke it." And he said, "Sell it, what? Smoke what?" And then the next thing you know, he said it. He said, "All right, then cut it, roll it, smoke it." You know what he said? He said, "Some rappers gonna steal that from you." And I said, "Good, we'll both be rich."
Oh, wow.
But he also passed his joint to me.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was huge. That's what I knew. I was like, well, somebody, but that's before the legalization of marijuana, y'all.
Well, that's dope, though. I mean, you know what I mean? For him to even,
acknowledge
you like that. So after that, did you guys, stay in touch? What kind of happened?
No, I didn't stay in touch with him, but I have a way of, whenever somebody come in town, there's a lady that makes medicated peach cobbler. I don't know nothing about that. Sure. So even if I'm not there, they know who I am.
Right. Amen to that.
Sure. What inspired you to start making music? But most importantly, what creative process do you use to get there?
Okay, what inspired me to make music is because are you saying rapping or singing? Because singing was just natural. It was just,
You do both, right?
The singing was mostly like gospel, right?
Right.
And then I got into like the Natalie Coles and the Tina Turners,
That's
and
right.
back in those days. But and so, but you said what creative
process?
My creative process, believe it or not, it's the beach. I have to be by the water. And I'm one of those people that I'll get up super early. It could be dark at the beach, whatever. I just need the water, but not my tub. I mean, I literally need to be at the beach, and that's where I write. I can write the
That's
best.
wonderful. You
Yeah.
know what? Because the water does something for me too.
Yeah.
It
Me too.
actually does. If I can be going through anything in the world and be on the beach or fishing or anything around water, and boy, I'm in a whole nother place. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
just takes me away from at least while I'm there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it. I'm a water person too.
I heard you say fishing too.
Yeah, I love it.
I have a grandson.
A lot of people don't know that about me, but this is about you today.
No, but that's a lot of water over here. You know what I mean?
And so tell us, about, your performances and, the things that you got into since you've been into the music game. Share some of those.
Okay, so what I like the most is I love to open up for any 420 rapper because most of my songs are about 420. And what I like is just the whole energy. You know what I mean? It could be reggae, it could be festivals, it could be anything. But what I liked is seeing the legalization of something that is not just for recreation, but is for, from the medicinal side of it. But seeing us, there's so many different faces. Like when I step on the stage, it's like when I shift, well, we've been there, but like when I step out there, it's like, it's not even me. It's just like, and I just get so excited. What was your question again? It's like, I just love it. I think that God put me here to entertain. I think that God put me here to bring joy and laughter to all those around me. Because all of the things that I like do that. I love making baskets. I almost said biscuits. You can tell that though. But I love making baskets. I love making, music. I love making, creating spaces for people to bring their talents and their gifts and display that. But meanwhile, everyone's happy, and I'm just making sure everyone's happy. That's fun.
I seen that when you invited me to the battle rap. I seen you had tables allowing other people to come in because I even from some of these hats, I had a little table, and anybody could have had. You was giving everybody opportunity. Is what I. Could you talk about that? How do you do the battle wrestling? What is that? How do y'all do it?
Okay, so what we do is battle rap. The culture is real. This is a whole culture of itself. It's like all you have to do is go to YouTube, right? And you will be surprised that these guys that are making $50,000 and these and smack URL. He's the big boy. Okay, I'm the grassroots league. But the thing I like is that even though I'm a grassroots league, I'm the only female league owner in California. I say that because I'm a woman. That's what I'm saying. And I'm doing that for not just men, but for women as well. So now what we do is, I say for instance, we're going to have a battle. I have three people on my team right now. I'm kind of scaling back because I'm doing things differently, which is I'll take those three and bring in two others from say LA, right? And then so I've got a squad of 5. So we're planning to go battle, in Los Angeles and in Alabama against someone else. But in San Diego, how we do it is I pay each battler a deposit. I pay each battler at the end of their battle, except my core 3. Well, one of them, he won't. The guy that's been with me the longest is the one that went viral. That's Jack. Jack has never taken a dime from me. Jack refuses to take money from me. He's like, no, I'm here because I love you. But in battle rap, some people, this is their life. This is how they eat. And I respect anybody's talent. I don't give a damn what you do for me. I'm going to pay you if I can pay you. Otherwise, we can barter, okay? Because I can make real good, okay? But you get my point. So it's like, so in battle rap, I pay them a deposit. Then I start looking for. Then I get with my video. I'm sorry, my graphic designer, and he'll create a flyer. So you want to get that flyer out. I would venture to say 6 weeks, 8 weeks, sometimes even 3 months, depending on if you've got people like I had C3 that's the reigning champ from Chrome 23 is Remy Ma's Battle League. Sorry, Remy. And so I had her coming. So you had people, you came down from Oakland, we had people from Arizona, we had people from all over because they follow these battle rappers. And so she came, it was beautiful, but I don't want to get off track. So the bottom line is you make your flyer. So you're doing your promos here. You've got to pay your deposits for your battlers because this is their work. This is what they do, right? And then I go out and find me a venue. And I'm at a place now where they're just, the last battle, people are just offering me venues. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I'll ever have to worry about another venue again, because they see that, you know, I'm congruent. I follow through. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to continue to do this.
Well, let's bring it to Reno.
I would say that's a yes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
So these
Yeah.
are battles and people are actually competing. Now,
Yes.
do you bring in sponsors or how do you get the money? How
So
do they
it's
get paid?
so funny because I never had a sponsor until lately. I
Okay.
got a sponsor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Nobody's, it's always been me. One day, they will tell you,
Right.
he's been watching me do this for how long? Ever since you've been,
Yeah.
he's been watching me every battle. Nobody's paid
And I was
nothing.
very impressed because San Diego,
Mhm.
Crips, Blood, and so everything is there. So I go there. I'm thinking you're gonna have 5 and 6 securities because you got LA and gangsters coming to battle.
Yeah.
So I'm in there. It's one guy, and I don't mean to be
Just-
like,
but it's
but
telling
he
you,
had one little arm.
here's
That's the kind of security. So she really didn't have security, and I'm waiting for something to happen. Nothing happened. It was roped off. Everybody that was performing was in it. They was respectful. They even got so close, all Crips and Bloods, but never once hit or they knew that what it was and left it there. It came there and it went. That's when I want to sponsor and invest more. Because if she can do that with no security, with just them coming, come on. That's the gun. She got this part of the solution to the gun violence right now. We just got guns put on us out here. Y'all, if y'all would have came like 2 weeks ago,
awesome.
right here, yeah.
Were you there?
But that's another story. That's another.
Okay, we won't get into that.
Okay.
But you know what? You said something that really touched me because that is true. And I want to tell you something. I've done something that, and I didn't even do this. Okay, listen, Mitchie Slick is a legend. Mitchie Slick is still relevant. Mitchie Slick is one of the most legendary rappers of San Diego, who's still relevant today.
All right.
Big June is my play son. Big June is Pyru. When I say Pyru, I mean Pyru. He's the first Pyru song. Okay, everybody knows who Big June is. They call them rivals or whatever. What it is they grown men today. Okay, Mitchie Slick hosted. June showed up. People were like, oh, they thought it was gonna be something. Baby, this is battle rap. We ain't got time for that shit. This is real hip hop. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what this is about.
Right.
Okay, and they call me the mother of hip hop. I'm not having it. Okay, and I'm not gonna have a bunch of security. I'm not gonna have a bunch of guns out because that's not what rap is about. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to have the battle rap. All that other rap, y'all can have it. Okay, but battle rap is about real hip hop.
Yeah.
It's so different. I wanted to tell you something too. You know, when I just showed you the thing was KRS-One. KRS-One has the School of Hip Hop in New York. Do you know what my goal in life? That's all I want to do. I keep my husband every time it's birthday, Christmas, I want to go to KRS-One school because it's about, if we keep it hip hop, we can stop all the other.
Everything,
Well, that is hella cool because I like hearing that because all of the events that I've been giving forever and a day has never had any gun violence or any gang violence, and mainly I do events, increase the peace benefit concerts and stuff like that. I've always advocated to stop gang violence, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I just want one love, not one
That's
color.
it. Exactly.
And that's where I'm coming from. And so I really want to say that's a beautiful thing when you're able to bring different, hoods and stuff together and they're there for the cause. You know what I'm saying?
I want to say something. Okay, just so y'all will understand. It wasn't just gangbangers. There was gays, lesbians, trans, everything will be my shit. Okay, everybody.
Right.
Like the next door. It was what you call a scribble, what you call man's cave.
Right.
Because I try to find venues that people just go, what the hell? You know what I mean? And people they love that. They just need a place. They just need a space.
Mm-hmm.
And they need someone like while they're having did you ever see me when everybody's in the middle? I'm walking,
Right.
I'm walking around. I gotta make sure that baby, you okay? You okay? Okay. You all right? Okay. Go, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's my job. I get a kick out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure you guys are having fun. Then after that, Smoke decently. You already know.
Yeah.
It's beautiful where you can find a place where you're safe and you can represent without having to feel
Exactly.
that just because you look differently, you're not going to have a good time.
Right.
You were talking about musicians and entertainers. Who has inspired you as far as like people that you hang around with and those that are in your line of work?
Okay. Who has inspired me in my line of work? Okay, so I would say my inspiration for music, for rap, really did come from Big Jim. It really did. And I'll say this for this reason, is because anybody can rhyme. I feel like Jim was teaching me how to rap. You know what I'm saying? And his formulas and how to put music together his way. And he's a legend.
Right.
But my real inspiration, I think, came from old school music and hip hop because I just always love music. Always. I mean, classical, I don't care what it is. I can listen to anything. I've been to other countries. I can listen to anything and I'm fine with any type of music. I just love music.
The fact that it's universal.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Like Ms. Poole said, one love, right?
Yeah.
It brings people together.
Yeah. One time I went, my husband was military, so that's how I ended up blessed enough to go overseas. And this one particular time I was in Bahrain, and so we were communicating through singing. We just sang to each other, and that was it. And it was like we were just hugging each other.
That's what I'm talking about. Do you have an ideal musician that you would like to collaborate with in the future?
Who am I collaborating with? I want to collaborate with Cat Williams.
Cat Williams?
I'm more than
Okay.
Cat Williams. I want to laugh. I don't want to sing and rap. I'm tired of this shit.
Yeah.
No, I love comedy, but if I was going to collaborate with anyone in music, who would it be? I don't even know that I need a collaboration. I think I would just love to shake Missy Elliott's hand. I don't need a collaboration. Or just to be in that room, just because there's greatness from the toe to the top of her head. There's greatness all over her.
You've been so successful already, and I feel your energy, and I'm really honored to have met you.
It's so sweet of you. Thank you.
What would you say to the future of tomorrow, those that would want to follow your steps, or those that are, we're in the radio industry, we program concerts, we do events. What advice would you give to the future of tomorrow that would want to create music, or maybe, get in the line of work of singing or entertaining?
First, I would say stay true to yourself.
Stay true.
Stop being copycats. Just do you.
A lot of that.
Yes,
ma'am.
do you. Yeah. And then I would say, we have so many tools now that we didn't have. Like, you guys have, these kids have all the tools like AI and all that stuff.
Right.
Do your research. You know what I mean? Know, like, if you're going to get into the music industry, know what you're doing, because it's business. And in business, you need to know what you know what I mean? You need to get paid. A lot of people, they just.
When you say it's business, I remember, being a young promoter of musicians. We're talking late 80s, 90s, literally, used to walk around and meet people like, Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, it was interesting, right? It was a different world. But I also saw that it was really cutthroat.
Right.
Is there still a lot of that?
You know what? I'm going to be honest, I'm just going to go by my friends that are in the industry. Yes.
Yeah.
Which is why the reason I've never really rushed. I just go perform my music and that part of it, I'm working on a legacy. That's what I'm doing. I just when I leave this earth, I want to make sure that my family knows that she did it. She never stopped. She never stopped. That's the message I'm leaving. But when it comes to the music, you have to talk to my manager, Miss Pearl.
You've been listening to my shows.
Did you?
Yeah, we did.
I swear I never listened to one, but did you hear what I just said?
Yes.
No, you didn't. You listened to it.
She said you gotta talk to Miss Pearl. Yeah. I don't miss
And the
anything.
co-manager, like,
And my co-manager, yes.
You know, no, but really, that's me too. You know what I mean? And that's probably why the vibe is so strong here today, because I really, you know, feel really comfortable with you. You know what I mean? Just as an individual. You know, you can meet a lot of people, and some people you vibe with, and
Yeah.
you, or some people you go, oh no, let's make this just, you know, business and keep it moving. But your whole vibe, and the direction that you know that you're going in life, and where you have been in life, is the same path that we both have followed.
Right.
You know, and so I know that you had someone very, very dear to you that you went through an experience, and I want you to kind of share that, because it is also a part of the music history, and a part of your history.
Oh,
you know, so let's dab into that.
Okay, so Ryan Bowers was signed to Nick Cannon. Ryan Bowers was a rapper. He was like even a white guy, fat, just was so talented. And he ended up committing suicide. And thank you for having me in this month being Men's Mental Health Month. So with that being said, Ryan suffered from mental illness I believe as a young child. And, you know, and so it went on for years. And so when I met him, well, I met him in the just on the scene, on the music scene, because as I said, that cutting roller smoking, those skaters, he was a skater. They love that, right? So we'd always say, hey, we're gonna work together, you know. He's, when I get back off of tour, let's work together. I wanna work with you. I said, okay. So it's one time he put this post out. And this post was him sitting on a bed. And the bed was on the mattress. The mattress was on the floor. And he had a candle. And it just looked dark to me, you know? And so I said, and that's back the time when I, you know, like grandmas need to stay off that Facebook and stuff anyway, but I was always trying to learn things or trying to reach out or help people. So I reached out and I said, hey, I thought we were going to work. And he said, hey, call me. So I called him. We were on the phone for 3 hours. And then he said, come over tomorrow. I said, okay, I'll be over around 5. I got there at 5. I didn't leave till 5 the next morning. And we talked and talked and talked and talked and talked and talked and talked. But he did most of the talking. And he went on to tell me that he was signed to Nick Cannon, but he was kicked off the label because he had what he referred to as, I cracked up online, meaning I had a meltdown or whatever. I don't know the medical term, but I would say like what do you call it? What do you call it?
A meltdown.
A psychotic episode,
Okay.
right? So, so in that he made a lot of threats to Nick, and so Nick kicked him off the label, right? And so when I came in his life, it was roughly a year or so after that. And so we just got close. When I got there that night, he just talked and talked and talked and talked. And I was intrigued. I ain't gonna lie, this boy's talking about going on tour and all that shit. I wanted to hear it. It was funny. And we was cool, you know, we talking, we were buddies. So, and he's doing music and it's just a vibe. It's a studio vibe that you can only appreciate if you love music the way I do. And I love music. I love to be in the studio, not the studio, that type of studio, but there's people where there's really music going on. So with that being said, we just became so tight. It was ridiculous. Like if I wasn't there 3 times a week, I was there probably 5 times a week. No, I'm exaggerating. I would say 3 or 4 times a week, or we were on the phone. And then finally he started looking for a studio, and he opened the studio back up. And then that's when all hell broke loose, because I was seeing a person who was coming off of a depression or in depression. So when he was sitting in that dark space because he and his girlfriend had broke up. So then when I came into his life, he was still in that dark space.
Yeah.
So that dark space now went into a studio. And so now you'd have a legend. Okay, Ryan's considered a legend, right?
Right.
They're on tour. They had their own tour bus. The name of their group was Psych Ward Druggies. You won't believe this.
Yeah.
Kehlani was on that bus, on that tour bus. Kehlani, Ryan Anthony, all of them before they blew up, Nick Cannon had them, right?
Right.
So when they when he kicked him off the label, they even had a store in Melrose. And so when he kicked him off the label, he had nothing.
Okay.
So now he has a studio. He's back. Oh, the legend Ryan's back. Oh, I'm going to make some music with Bowers. Everybody wants to know Bowers. They want to know the stories. What was it like? You were on tour. You went out of town. You toured with Tech Nine. You did. He did. Listen, I forgot to tell y'all. Ryan was on the show Made. Ryan was on it.
Right.
He's skating through a school one day and he sees this line of kids and they say, "Oh, you should get in line. They're looking for rappers." He wins. So he started off on Made, did the whole show, and then when he finished that, all of his friends were like, "So now what you gonna do? You still ain't shit. You ain't no rapper." So for 2 years he was in depression.
Okay, for those of you that are just now tuning in, you are on Just Got Real TV. We have SherryE in the house with us right now. All right, and I'm our host, Chicali, Pearl J, and Nate Williams in the house. All right, so, and go ahead, finish your story.
Okay.
Just want to bring everybody up to speed.
So I forgot where it was.
No, okay,
Tell me where it was, guys.
okay.
Turn that back.
Okay, so you guys were on tour.
No, not us. Not me.
Okay,
Him.
he's
They were
on tour.
So then he was standing on these. What happened? See, you weren't paying attention. I'm gonna stop talking because y'all ain't listening.
Yeah, we are listening because we're live right now, so we are listening. Okay,
So anyway, the bottom line was Ryan met me and needed a friend, got back in the studio, and then that's when your buddies show up and you start doing. There was just things in his life I didn't know he was doing. I didn't know that all of this was going on or whatever. So they party like rock stars. Then boom, the police shoot him, and he ends up in the hospital for 3 months. And he's what do you call that when you're in a medically induced coma? And I can tell you this is that at first I wasn't allowed to go to the hospital, but when his family met me, his mom met me, I started to go. And there was a time when I went in and his cousin took me in at 10 at night because she got off work. She said, "You can stay." She was supposed to, but she let me stay. And I prayed and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. And when he got to this studio, his very first song, he said, then you can find it on YouTube. He said, what did he say? The bottom line was he said, God had another plan. He said that. He said, and that's when I know that, even though he took his life, I did my part. I made sure he knew about God. I kept telling him, God, you have to believe in God. You only came out of it because of God, because they gave him a 7% chance to live.
Oh, wow.
Only 7%. And he made it through.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
See, I got a little confused because you said before, Ms. Pro took us back to the audience that Tech Nine was in the picture.
Yeah, they went on tour with Tech Nine.
Right. And they were obviously doing well, but where I'm having a hard time picturing where he went wrong is how did he have a breakdown? Where was the gap that allowed him to not continue in his success? What happened between doing so well and falling down that pit that psychologically created a conflict to even begin threatening his own record label?
I feel like you said, how did it happen?
Yeah.
Because you know how like when you're on stage,
Because
and
you
you're
were
working
talking and I was trying
you
to
paying attention. That's
and I was
so they were on stage.
emotionally caught up.
Right. They were on stage and they were working and working, right? And then the tour's over. You know what I mean? You have a tour date that ends, right?
Okay.
And so I don't know what happens in their downtime. I didn't know him. I wasn't his friend then. I knew him, but I wasn't his friend. So in that downtime, somehow or another, this is where Cheryl comes in. She's really good with the mental part of it. He always had the mental illness. That's all. You know what I mean?
So it kind of figured like when that ended, it wasn't good for
It
him.
might have sent him. That's what sent him into
What was she?
No, that was that.
Okay, so we want to introduce you, so can you state your
Maybe
name?
this is a good time.
My name's Cheryl Camp.
Hi,
I'm
Cheryl.
also Sandy.
Okay.
And I'm a mental health advocate for my community.
Okay,
And the intersection of when a person is criminalized by the criminal injustice system
Mhm.
really segues them into the symptoms that are brought on by that intersection.
Right.
Because she was telling me that Ryan Bowers was shot by the police and they criminalized him and he got a charge for it.
Okay.
They convicted him for it, right? And that's what
Yeah.
happened.
Essentially, yeah.
And
You are.
So he was wrong.
There
Wrongly
it is.
convicted.
You're right. I see. You see
he
where she's
was
going.
wrongly
with that?
convicted.
I have a
Yeah.
question too. So,
He was wrong. Yeah.
so with that, when she said he got shot, I know I work with a lot of that population. Once you get shot or you got a gun, you're high risk. What is it that he was supposed to get or he didn't get from the hospital or something? When you get shot, there's supposed to be counselors or what happens? What's
No, we
bringing
got it all, you guys. You guys don't understand the severity of his mental illness.
Right.
They,
But
he
that was
got
the trigger.
yeah. Oh, but what triggered? I feel like she hit the nail on the head because
That was the trigger.
what triggered Ryan, what was part of the trigger for shooting himself, I believe. When he was convicted, he hated that fucking police officer. He wrote a song. Ryan has a song out, and he was saying what he's going to do to his wife and all that, right? And so they were coming after him. But this is the problem. And they're coming after you, you more scared than ever. So them voices to me, I feel like when you have voices in your head, when they get too loud, that's people say, what do you think happened? The voices got so loud he couldn't drown them out.
Right.
Right.
Do we know if he was diagnosed at all?
Yes. Oh,
He
yes.
was.
He had a bunch of schizophrenia.
Yeah, mental health is.
I don't want to say
No, of course.
because I don't have a
Sure.
degree, but
No.
I'm very close with the family.
But those of us who
And so he
understand
did
mental
have
health
diagnosis.
don't need to really
Yeah.
even go.
Yeah.
You know, we
Yeah.
don't need to go that deep. You don't have to be a scholar to understand
Yeah.
how difficult.
Yeah.
Can I ask this? When Nick Cannon let him go, did his career go down
Yes.
behind that?
Yes.
And so do you feel that that could have also triggered
Yes.
him wanting to commit suicide?
Not at that, wait.
I mean,
Yes, absolutely. I'm gonna tell you why. Because the night he got shot, Nick drove down from Los Angeles, stood in that room and said, in an operating room, and said, if you live, buddy, because all he wanted to do was be on stage and be known. And he said, if you live, I'll make sure everybody in the whole world knows who you are. So yes, you're right. So after that, all that, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be mean or anything, but I can understand Nick's position and the family's position
right.
because I just keep it 1,000.
I'm just.
This man is you know what I'm saying? You've got to protect your business, and over here, I understand how they feel.
Right.
But the bottom line is that,
I'm just
he
wondering.
was at.
Is there anything that you're doing with respects to his death and the music and the love and respect you had for him with mental health and music in combination, or how you guys maybe put both forces together and do awareness from that angle?
We have on September the 14th this year in San Diego, we have our fourth, I believe it's our fourth, it might be our third, don't quote me. It's called You Are Not Alone, Suicide Prevention Walk in memory of Ryan Bowers.
Mhm.
His family, they they just did an event too with Sublime in Oceanside, and they said there was like over 10,000 people there.
Mm.
So he has his own brand in his own shirts. They're outside of OWTSIDER.
Oh,
And
wow.
and so his uncle Rich and Tammy, they keep his name alive by being able to have be vendors in these large events. And and it's just the whole town comes out because he was considered the king of OB. He was a skater.
Yeah.
So all of Ocean Beach comes out, and all of his friends, like everywhere I go, like I'm telling you guys,
The memories.
I feel like the memories, and also Ryan was such a good guy. He was like those type of artists that oh, they don't, I'm not going out this time. Ryan used to get that. Ryan would beat the people to the to the events because he loved people. He loved to talk just like me. So can you imagine us together?
So you mentioned Ryan and Tech Nine was very close.
Yeah, Ryan did a song with Crazy Bone. He was crazy about Crazy Bone. He did a song with DJ Premier. He and the DJ Premier song came from The Maid, I believe. And then Ryan did. His favorite artist in the world is Tech Nine. Yes. So they went on tour for Nick. That's just, you know what I'm saying? All the specifics, I don't, you know what I mean? But yes, they've all worked together.
Yeah. And so for you, when he took his life, and it's, you know, were you with him up to that point, or and how did that
go? Well, he was going with a girl named Leah. You can look up Leah. I love Leah so much. Oh my God. They were both, you know, in their drug addiction days. Leah's doing great today. Okay. She's not even here. She's in Europe. Okay. She calls me mom. Whenever she's in town, she's at my house. But at that time, they had whatever they had. But one thing about me is I judge not in that I not be judged, because, as I said, you know, people, the stuff I do at 69, you know, I don't care what people say. So I never judged them. You know what I saw? Some people didn't see this, but I saw love. People want to say, oh, no, that was just drugs. No, it wasn't. That was drug love. Call it whatever you want, but it was love to me.
Yeah.
He said he loved her. She said she loved him. And they both love me enough to know when I walk in here, oh, if they had, y'all can put that tray away or I'm leaving. Because I'm not here for that. Now, you smoke all the weed you want, but I'm not here for that, period. I don't care who's the butt business I'm telling. But I didn't want to see that. And they respected me. And that's what I loved about them.
You know, but the entertainment game, you know, that's all it's about is drug.
And I don't mind. I just was like, if I get there, I'm not going to be up in there. They don't know my shit.
Yeah.
They don't know my damn past. That's why I was like, they didn't know shit about me, but my mom, every time she comes, she run out that door. Hell yeah, you didn't ain't gonna get me caught up.
Yeah.
So I would leave. Yeah. I would be, you know what I would do? Be in the parking lot. Ask June. June, what you doing? Man, anyway. Leave me over there.
That's a big thing on respect.
And there's a lot of activity going on. I'm going. The police gonna be coming.
Yeah, I'm scared. I ain't gonna go on it.
There's a difference between respect and you know those boundaries that people who do respect you respect.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, that's beautiful that you know some people can do that.
Yeah, I know. And you know what? He's right. He said, I called that. I was very, very honored that they would do that. Right. And anybody will tell you, like, it was like he had so much respect for me. When I tell you, man, it was like this. We were like this. And I'm gonna tell you something. It wasn't until Nate asked me to do San Quentin that I had to sit here and I had to, because now I have to. Okay, when you grieve, you either grieve or you stuff. I'm the queen of stuffing because mama's, daddy, grandmother, Bobby, Michi, everybody dead except there's three of us over here, right? So I've done all of this, plus sang at the funerals, plus put, you know, all that stuff, put the funerals together and all that, right? So for me, I don't know, I'm about to cry, sorry.
I mean, it's all right. Keep it real like that.
I know, I'm sorry, you guys. Yeah, so anyway, the reason why I was gonna cry is because I had never like, just, you know, I never revisited.
Right.
A wound that wasn't even healed. I just stuffed it because I had to help the family. I had to do this. I had to do the, you know, all this stuff. And then I still had to take care of my husband, take care of the 32 years, take care of my grandson. And I always had this stuff to where when Nate said, no, I want you to talk about Ryan. And I was like, shit, you know. So you know what I did? I took out Chat GPT. Hey, what's up, Chat GPT? And I told Chat GPT the whole story. But I didn't tell him. This is why I'm going to cry, because I told him my story. I ain't trying to protect no damn body. I told him the truth. I told Chat GPT everything from the time that I went to, from when I saw that boy sitting on that bed, that mattress, with that candle, all the way up to the day his sister called me and said he just took his life. I told Chat GPT, and I said, now I need to do a presentation. And then I said, no, make it shorter. Then I said, make it sound like my voice. And then I said, I don't even want to deal with this shit. Excuse me. I said, now you need to get it because I'm gonna tell you, as I was telling the story to ChatGPT didn't happen in a day. It took a week. So there was days that I would cry, just like now, about to cry. Then there was days that I was like, don't laugh. What are you looking at? Shit. Because I don't know if it's part of grief. Anything mental illness I ask her. You see, it was coming back up. I had to deal with it. And so I dealt with it and I dealt with it and I kept on writing and I kept on writing. And then after I finished, I said, okay, now I can talk about it. And I said, I'm okay. And now I can play his music. I couldn't play his music before. Never played his music, rarely. Now I can play his music. I could talk about it, anything. If I cry, I cry. Oh, well, I'm healing, it's okay. But I had to do everything for everybody else. And it felt like when it came to me, thanks, Nate. Glad you were there. You get it? You feel me? Thanks, Miss Pearl. I'm glad you were there. Thank you too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and absolutely for sharing your story on Just Got Real TV. I really want to tell you we appreciate you being a guest on the show today. And what you're doing in the community is just so outstanding, and a lot of people don't recognize mental illness and it's sitting right in front of them every day, and so suicide ain't no joke, and there's always telltale signs, but a lot of us is not paying attention, you know what I mean? Really not paying attention.
Right.
And that's a serious thing,
Yeah, welcome to the family, and you're not alone.
Oh, thank you.
I'm sure you've got a lot of people that support you and love you, but you got some family there. But I'm a new member, and
Oh, I love that.
just know that you can count on me as well.
Thank you.
You're a strong woman, and we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the
Thank you.
story.
Thank you for saying that. This lady said that was on the plane. She said, "You're a strong lady."
Confirmation. Amen. That's right.
So I have a really super question for you.
Okay.
Can you give us a little bit of 8 bars of what you
See, okay, I'm not a rapper though. Okay, wait, let me see. Got something to say? Yeah, let's talk about it.
All right.
I've been doing this shit before you niggas started. Cut it to the spoken. Yeah, that's my brand. All black bins. I'm like Copper Jag.
That's right. Some bars there. Just Got Real TV, baby.
SherryE in the house with us today, Chicali, Nate Williams. Yeah, you know what?
Now we're back in here.
Yeah, we most
Some of her
definitely gonna
music.
have to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Some of the music.
They have to talk to you. My management
Okay,
first.
yes, sir.
Yeah, that's between y'all. Go.
Okay, so literally part of the management now?
Yeah.
Or you're gonna be coming back and forth or what?
Need those
Yeah?
too.
Okay. Because this is how we do it in Reno. We do the whole black and
I
brown
love
thing.
it. I love it. Oh man, come on now.
We're no different.
You gotta know my team is everything.
Yeah. That's how we do it out here. No one says behind.
Okay.
You guys aren't doing nothing on the 28th. We got the Juneteenth
Yeah.
event and
Yeah.
car show
Yeah.
at Baldini's Casino.
That's right.
Oh, well, we'll be here. Well, how? Because can we be here and then be there on the 29th?
Yeah.
What time is it on the 29th?
You can be here. It's only 2 hours from me.
Okay, so you want to just fly here? You want us to just or drive here? Oh no, hell no, I ain't driving. No. You taking that road? No, we coming to you.
Oh, they're kind of scary.
That road was scary. Oh, girl, is there another way?
Oh, you mean through 80? 80?
Bro, he was 80. Yes, I saw it. I said that's 80. That's what I don't.
Or you can take the train from Sacramento. It's so beautiful. The train ride.
Oh, the Greyhound.
We'll do the train. We're gonna do the train. But I ain't supposed to take the train. You know what? Because the other day I was thinking, oh, everybody knows he was laughing at me. I can't believe he said this. Okay, so I want a low ride, right? I know it's don't laugh, but yeah, I still got it in me, right?
Nice.
So he was like, you had a 63, you was all scared to drive it. I've never liked
What we used to
driving. I
do
hate
with it,
driving.
though, we used to do more of just sitting there. Yeah.
All
Yeah, man, we used to play music.
Well, here's the
a lot.
thing, if you guys come out here in time, we can do all the low riding you want.
Are you serious?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Don't stop. Yeah,
Do your
no,
video.
no,
I said, do your video
video,
here.
please. I want to do my
That's
video
what I'm
because I
saying.
need
Yeah.
logos.
Okay,
We
no,
can set
we're
something
doing
up
also
and
car show.
coordinate it.
So we're
Right, car show.
we're doing a car show for
Come on.
Juneteenth event, celebration and car show. But you guys, we're out of time, so
Right.
you're tuned in. JustGotRealTV.com.
So,
All right,
Welcome to
and
the
so I
family.
want to thank you again
That
for
was so
being
good.
a guest on the show.
Definitely, my pleasure.
All right,
That was so fun. Yeah. that
and
was so
just for the record, before we close,
fun.
if somebody wants to book you, how do they book you?
Do you? Shit.
Oh, okay, okay.
I don't even understand. Like, you don't even understand. I make decisions look like that.
That's so lovely. That's so lovely.
All
That's lovely.
right, you guys, we did it.
That was so good.